just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. That's it. There is nothing else. So I'm Simone. I'm from Italy, and I'm currently living in Germany. I before lived also in London for 4 years, and now since October 2021, I'm living here in Hannover. I'm working for the second biggest company in the world in the prosthetic field.
You told me you came with a job already.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the process of obtaining this job before you came to Germany?
For me, what was really important was to learn the language. So first I learned a little bit the language, and then I made interviews. I just had one interview, and my German was really bad, I'd say, because I had an interview just after 6 months. I learned German, and despite my German was bad, I got the job because I could at least communicate with the people, and then they saw my skills.
You mentioned that you can earn more here in Germany, but I think from my perspective, you also have more expenses than in Italy for the rent, for the food. How do you see it?
And regarding the expenses, yes, it's more expensive here the life than in Italy, of course. But at the end of the month, I still have enough money to keep them in my savings account, and I still have a lot of money to book holidays. I see more advantages than disadvantages. Of course, one of the disadvantages is the climate, because I'm coming from Italy, so I really miss sometimes the sea, the sun. I miss my family, I miss my friends. But I'm living abroad now for 7 years, so I used to live far away from my country, my friends, my family. I actually like now cold weather, rainy weather, because I used to it.
So I say the food as well.
Food as well, yeah, food as well. But I mean, if you are able to cook, you can always make your food tasty. So, and there is always a good restaurant where you can eat your food.
But Italian food or German food, which is the best?
This question should be illegal. I'd say Italian food, yeah, because you have more variety of ingredients, so to say. Also, Germany has good food. For example, currywurst. I tried it many times and I liked it. And I like also the beer, of course. I prefer German beer than Italian beer, for example. It's not comparable. So, and other food, I like the soups here in Germany. They're very good, very tasty. But in terms of pizza, pasta, and these kind of things, then Italy is the best.
And compared to UK regarding financial part,
Terrible. I was living in London, so I used to spend 2/3 of my salary for the rent, because I was living in southwest London. So to make you understand where I was living very close to Wimbledon, where they make the tournament of tennis. And despite this is zone 5 of London, because London has many zones. It starts with zone 1, 2, and then it goes to 9. I was really fast, almost outside of London, and I was paying 630 euros per month for the rent, for a room. It was a room. It was tiny. It was like 3 meters per 3 meters square. So it was not that big. In my room, there was just my bed, my wardrobe, my table. That's it. In Corona time, I had just enough space to make my exercises in my room. It sounds sad, but sometimes the less you have, the happier you are, because you don't base your money on what you have, but you use that money to live like if you have a very big salary. So I used to do like this in London. So I was really counting every cent in London. Germany is not the same because I'm living far away from a big city. I mean, I'm living in Hannover, but it's less expensive than London.
Do you think you'll stay here in Germany?
I think so, yeah. I like it here because people treat you with respect. I like the country because they give you the opportunity to integrate yourself here, and because, of course, the salary are higher here than in the UK, for example. And I think I also would like to have a family here because you are also helped by the state if you want to have a family. And in general, there is a right balance between work life and private life, which is very important for me because, yeah, compared to Italy, here there is more work culture, so everything is based on your job, but at the same time you are working also to have a private life. So you're maybe starting to work earlier, but you also finish earlier to work in order to have a good balance between the work life and private life. So you can go maybe to the gym, you can go to the supermarket, you can go maybe, I don't know, to a walk in central city. Maybe you have to do some stuff at home, and you still have time to do your things, which is really important. For example, in Italy, I had sometimes 2 3 hours pause. Then I had to work for the entire afternoon, and then I finished to work at 7 o'clock, and I didn't want to do anything. Just had to run at home and cooking and relax. And I didn't have so much time for maybe meeting a friend or going to the gym. So that's why I like here the balance between private life and work life.
How was the process of learning German?
For me at the beginning, especially the first 6 months, were really hard and tough because I moved from London to Hanover. So I was moving from a very big city to a small one. So Hanover is a middle big city in Germany. So the difference was a lot, also because of the mentality. So in London, you have a more international mentality. You have many cultures, and here you have a more restricted culture. And for me, it was difficult because I had to stop thinking in English and I had to learn how to think in German. And at the same time, in my company, there were not so many people speaking English, especially in my field where everything is technical. So I had to learn both languages, so to say, technical language and the conversational language.
You had a professor or you learned by yourself?
I first learned German through an online course because at the time there was Corona and they didn't give a face to face lesson. And then after 6 months of online training, I learned the language here. But it took me another 6 months before I could really speak uh, normal German. So it took me in total 1 year to learn it properly. And after 1.5 year, I could speak German, I'd say. I still make mistakes, but at least now people can understand me.
But do you think it's difficult for someone who doesn't know the language to come here and find a job?
It could be. It could be. Yeah. I came here with a job on my hands. So it has been easier for me. It depends where you are coming from. If you are coming from India, it's totally difficult. If you are coming from Italy, it's tough, I'd say, because the grammar is different, because you have to put the verbs at the end in some cases. And I think generally for Italian people, if you are not coming from Südtirol, it could be tough.
Can you explain some differences between UK and Germany?
Generally, when you have to do with the Nordics, there is a little bit of difference as compared to the South European countries. In South Europe, we tend to be more warm, welcoming. We tend um, to be closer to the people. We tend to speak with our hands, so to say, and we are a little bit more friendly. But that doesn't mean that German people or English people, British people, or Scandinavian people are not warm welcoming, or they are not friendly, and so on. The biggest difference that I can tell you about UK and Germany is that in the UK, people tend to be a little bit more polite and tend to be politically correct. So they always try not to offend you if, for example, at work you do something not good. For example, for the product, in my case, they tell me, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about that. But for example, in Germany, they are a little bit direct. They tell you straight away, no, this is not good. I don't like. Do it again. In England, they tend to be less direct in order not to offend you. And Germany, they tell you the things as they are. So that at the beginning for me that was hard to accept that.
Do you have
So
German friends?
yeah, I've
It's easier to make German friends?
mm, yes and not, because I got to know German people who were really cold, but I also got to know German people who are really warm in terms of personality and with their heart.
What advice you would give to someone which is young and coming from Italy and wants to settle somewhere in Europe?
Coming here without a strategy, without a plan, searching for a job, it can be stressful, time consuming, and money consuming, because you still have to eat, you still to have to pay the rent, you still have to pay your bills. So that's why this is my advice for everyone. It doesn't matter the condition of social conditions, economical conditions. So my advice is first learn the language for a certain period of time, then try to have an interview, and then you move to that country. Yeah, just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. That's it. There is nothing else.